Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for an informative and exciting Scenic Luxury Cruises and Tours and Emerald Cruises webinar. My name is Johanna de Guzman. I am the Manager of Industry Relations, North American Travel Trade Membership here at CLIA, and I'm just going to go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. The webinar will run for about 40 to 45 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we will get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Andy Fuentes, to discover what makes booking with Scenic and Emerald Cruises easy. Andy developed his passion for traveling while serving in the United States Marine Corps for 8 years. In the cruise industry, Andy has worked for Carnival and Disney before moving into business development at Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, Oceania, and Crystal Cruises. Andy joined Scenic Group USA as Regional Sales Director at the beginning of 2022, covering the Florida territory. He brings to today's presentation 16 years of experience in the cruise industry, focused on luxury brands. Travel is part of how he spends his leisure time, as well as he and his wife and his son explore the world together. He also enjoys staying home with a barbecue and an adult beverage while taking in his Miami Dolphins and Florida State Seminoles. And Andy, with that, you can take it away.
Thank you, Johanna. Thank you very much. Wow, that was a great introduction. Basically, it describes me in a nutshell. And good afternoon or good morning for those folks on the West Coast. Thank you so much for taking the time and tuning into this informative webinar. So as the title said, we're going to talk about group business. How can you enhance your luxury portfolio with Scenic and Emerald Cruises, and more particular to our group policies and group procedures. So we're going to talk a little bit about Scenic and Emerald Cruises, our story. We're going to talk about what's going on in the industry. We're going to also talk about our experiences, and then definitely later on we'll take some questions, and we're going to give away some prizes as well. And the catch is that you have to sit on this webinar in order to win those prizes. So definitely stay tuned, take pictures if you want to. Ask your questions. Definitely, this is your time. And again, thank you very much for tuning in. So in the chat, you can definitely put your questions in, as Johanna mentioned, but we also have some few handouts in case that you want to reference back to them. They are there. You can save them up, and then we also will send that to you as well. So let's dive right in. So I'd like to begin the presentation just to see everything from a bird's eye view. I've been, as Johanna said, I've been in the industry for just about 20 years, and I started in the ocean cruise side. And to me, that honestly was the only type of cruising that there was at that time. Later on, and this was in the early 2000s, and then later on through my career, I started to hear like some other experiences out there, and it started to grow and grow and grow as time went along. And now, talking about almost 20 years later, there is an honestly full menu of cruising out there, whether it be your ocean cruises, your river cruises, expedition, and yachting. And obviously there's a few others more, but those honestly are the ones that are now available to your clients. So today, Scenic and Emerald Cruises is going to take you to the more intimate side of cruising, more particular to the river, the expedition, and also the yacht cruising. So some of you are probably out there and saying, what's the story? What's honestly like Scenic is all about? I've heard about you guys, but not enough. I've seen your TV ads, I've seen a little bit of information, but I just want to get like the brief history. So in basically 10 seconds, what our history is, we've been in business for just about 40 years. We've honestly started as a river cruise company. So that is our base. That's what we're founded on. and we are very well known in Australia and in Europe. What happens is that our founders, Glenn and Karen Maroney, they're there in that lovely picture, they decided to expand their business to the Western Hemisphere. And they came here to the US and Canada about 10 years ago. And ever since then, they just keep growing and growing and growing. And that's why, honestly, I appreciate you being here, because one of the things I definitely want you all, after looking at this webinar, to do is definitely spread the word, because we are the new kid on the block, but we have a lot of great experiences and our hardware is amazing. Our crews are phenomenal. And that's something that definitely should relate back to your clients. We are an independently owned company, so we're not part of any big cruise line. And we have a lot of brands that make up the Scenic Group. But today we're going to talk about Scenic Luxury Cruises and Tours and the Scenic Eclipse. They're one and the same, as well as Emerald Cruises. So when I'm in trade shows, I'm in consumer shows, etc., a lot of folks ask me, what is the difference? Why the two brands? So first off, I would say you have to know what the Scenic Group represents. And we are a global operator of luxury Europe River cruises, Asia River cruising, and ocean yachts. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to talk about intimate cruises, more to the rivers and the yachts. Our foundation, our base, is honestly in 3 pillars, which is exemplary service, outstanding culinary, and beautiful vessels, as you will see in this presentation. So that's our brand. That is our, not a brand, sorry, that's our company. And then we have these 2 great brands, which is Scenic Luxury Cruises and Tours and Emerald Cruises. Scenic, think about, 6-star service. Think about shopping in Champs-Élysées in Paris or Rodeo Drive in Los Angeles. Think about the creme de la creme. It is an ultra luxury product in a class of its own, truly all-inclusive. And because we are we have intimate vessels, we have discovery at our core. So going to remote areas, going to the nooks and crannies of the world, that is what Scenic specializes in. Our pricing at Scenic is about $8,000 to $10,000 per person, which is great for you travel advisors, because the more pricing, the more commission you get. The commission with commas, as I say. But as we know, not everything is created equal, and not one size fits everyone. And there are some folks out there that definitely want the luxury experience, but not so much the luxury price. And this is where Emerald comes in. So think of Emerald as like a Lexus. Think of Emerald as an Acura. Think of Emerald as a W Hotel. So those luxury items, but not so much the luxury price. So Emerald, as you see there, is a contemporary luxury product within reach. So the price point's about $4,000 to $5,000 per person. That is on average. Now, all comforts are included, and then we'll talk about those comfort items when we dive in deep in Emerald. But because all comforts are included, doesn't mean everything is all inclusive as their sister brand Scenic. But it does have options to make it all inclusive. And because Scenic is more discovery, Emerald is more exploration, more relaxing, more for the adventurer. So those folks that like the hiking, the biking, the active, more wellness, more like yoga, more like, meditation, etc. That's really what Emerald surrounds in. So what does a typical client looks like in Emerald and Scenic? So this is something that you definitely want to take your iPhones or take a screenshot with snippet or something like that, because honestly, this one gives you a little bit of an insight, what our clients in each brand represent. So I'm just going to name off some of it. Scenic is over 55. Emerald's a little bit younger with 45. You do have basically a little bit of incomes about pretty much a little bit the same. But again, towards younger, you're talking about young professionals on Emerald. You're talking about families with high school and middle schoolers. And we're going to dive into that when we get to Emerald. So this is honestly something to keep in mind, especially when you develop a plan into luxury, because this should honestly, when you see this, you should think about, where to capture those clients. I mean, everyone asks me, what's the perfect mousetrap? How can I capture these clients? And this gives you a scenario on how, where are these clients located? Where can you find them? A couple of things that you honestly should already look at is yacht clubs, country clubs, more like, colleges, continuing education folks. Those are the type of audience that you definitely should start to capture. So starting about a few months ago, we started this initiative called Partners in Travel. And this initiative is the commitment to you that we do, every 4 things in every touch point that our service members, our staff, our sales folks, our marketing folks, everyone has committed to you. Which, as you see there, we have a diverse portfolio, and you already saw a snippet of those diverse portfolio that we have. We have dedicated professionals to you with our reservation consultants, your regional sales director, our trade marketing, and definitely go on and on with professionals we have here at Scenic. We're always looking for continuous improvement. That's our commitment to you. Now, realizing that, if you have done business with us, you have seen, some changes in the recent years for the better, and then we're continuing to make those changes here in the future. All in all, the very last thing just ties in everything together, and we're working together in partnership to provide those dream vacations for your clients. So let's look at what's going on in the industry today, because that's something, we've been running 100 miles an hour since January 2nd. I think after New Year's, after that calendar switched to 2023, and we had the whole hangover of New Year's Eve. The day after January 2nd, I felt like I just hit the pavement and I just zoomed. And I haven't stopped running. I'm sure it is for you, which is great news. And looking at what actually CLIA has given us is statistics that we're going to break records in 2023. So that's great. That honestly says that cruising is back. However, because cruising is back, it doesn't look the same as it did in 2019. There are several things that did change in 2023. One of them is increased solo travel, which we have a robust single supplement program where we offer 145% reduced single supplement and includes the free air on our Scenic and Emerald voyages, as well as 125% reduced single supplement if folks do not want the air. And as we talk about groups, keep that in mind, because I know as we talk about groups, the first question come in, what about singles? So remember what I just told you, 145% with free air and also 125% reduced single supplement if they do not want the air option, if they want that air credit per se. And last thing, actually not last thing, a few more things. Another thing is that travelers right now do not want to do the mundane. They don't want to do what they did in the past. Right now, they want to do what's called YOLO travel. If you don't know what YOLO means, it means you only live once. And folks right now do not want to wait till retirement to do those exotic itineraries or those exotic trips. People want to do those exotic itineraries, those bucket lists, if you will, trips right now. They seen, a bunch of shows right now. They either stream, and I can name a few shows. A few that comes up to mind is White Lotus, Below Deck, as you know, Bravo show. So they see all these shows and like, wow, I want to do that. But here's the kicker. They don't know that something like this exists, which would be shocking because we as travel professionals know that these experiences like river cruising, like yachts exist, but your average client does not. Your average client thinks it's what it was 20 years ago when we started the conversation, when I told you that it's all Caribbean big ocean liners, they don't know that other choices exist out there. They want to do these bucket list experiences, but they need you. They need you to make that connection with an expedition cruise, with a yacht cruise, and with a river cruise. And that's why we're here. 70% of travelers right now want to do destination as the key factor of making their decisions to travel. Again, this supports what I just told you. Not many people want to do the mundane. 43% of folks have a larger budget this year than they ever had before. And right now, the flexcation is what's trending right now for vacation. Flexcation is basically because the work from home model is here to stay. A lot of people want to combine their work with vacation. So don't be surprised that a lot of people now want to do more than a 7-day. Maybe folks that you've talked to maybe 5 years ago and said, I only have 3 or 4 day, may now want to do a 7 to 10 day because they have that remote accessibility and they can maybe work on emails, do Zooms, etc. on vacation. Obviously, they're going to suspect something when they see the beach and the waves, or maybe a glacier, maybe a penguin riding around. But hey, you know what? That's on them. That's not on us. I'll just provide the connection to how to make those experiences happen. So I just wanted to just take a second to let you know what's going on in the industry, because like I mentioned, we have been running so much that it's time just to step back, smell the roses, and really end this year with a bang. And I think that adding, these two amazing brands to your portfolio is going to enhance, your clients. It's going to bring in those luxury clientele that, that possibly are waiting for you to make that connection. So why is group business important in your dynamics? Well, let's talk about, why groups are important. So I'm sure that most of you probably know this, you've probably done groups for a very long time. And this is more for those folks that are just brand new. We have a whole medley of audience here today. And again, I say it again, I'm very appreciative you took the time. But most folks here are looking either one to refresh, maybe another tactical way to capture clients, or you're just brand new to the industry and you just want to create a map, a starting point on how to build group business. So honestly, what you see there is one of the reasons why people travel in groups. Two of the ones that I encounter the most is explore common interest and the sense of community. Those are one of the reasons why that people travel in groups. And where should you honestly go for group business? And I mentioned some of them earlier. These are the groups that honestly work great for us, which is country clubs, yacht clubs with the Commodores. Honestly, that has been amazing from us. I heard a Commodore said this line, that some of folks that own their yacht, they want to do another vacation that's similar, but they don't want to do the driving. They don't want to be the ones who operates. They want someone else to take that. So that's something honest. Just because they own a yacht, just because they have a boat, doesn't mean that they're gonna go and have vacation with their yacht or boat. They may want someone else to do everything. I mean, think about it. When you go on vacation, do you want to do the driving? Probably not. You want someone else to do it. I mean, you're on vacation. That's why you're on vacation for, right? A couple of things, just ideas out there so you can get the wheels turning. Talk about, museums, charities, professors, food and wine. That's one of the big here with us. Continuing education. I said that before. Fan clubs, photography, adventure, wildlife, folks. Bucket list, any milestones, birthdays, anniversaries, influencers. I feel that influencers are not very touched enough. And for those who don't know who influencers are, it's basically social media. Those folks that have a large following and they specialize in something like travel, like wine, like culinary. These folks are a great Pied Piper. They have a big audience, and definitely, again, like I mentioned before, that's something that you want to make that connection. For groups with Scenic or Emerald, you only need 5 staterooms to make a group. We do not need any deposits immediately. Okay, we take out the group contract. You go ahead and let us know that you want to market the group, and we can help you out with that market. And we can help you out, also provide special amenities and pricing for you to advertise that group. Best way to market the group, and again, this is just some ideas that we have here, but I just want to touch on one, which is conduct a virtual event or conduct an in-person event. Again, that's not a topic that people like to touch on, because either people think we're zoomed out. Actually, we're not. We're not zoomed out. People honestly have already put Zoom as part of their lives. So think about virtual happy hours. Think about in-person. Get in touch with your community is another one. I told you kind of where those clients, those groups that work well with us. So get in touch with your community. Don't be shy going to a luxury auto dealership like Mercedes or BMW. I'm just saying, for example, or Porsche, Lamborghinis, so forth and so on. Those collection automobiles, and talk with the owner. Like, hey, I have my clients, you can talk to your clients, let's do a trade show, let's do a show in your boardroom, because they do have boardrooms. When it comes to luxury, it's not cookie cutter. You definitely want to think outside the box. You definitely want to create these ideas. Like, I had some advisors that brought their yoga club, and they had a whole entire yoga class, and then we did a presentation. Think about those high-end athletic clubs. People are working on their body. They pay high-end money to work in their body, and they definitely want to showcase their bodies, out somewhere in the Caribbean or the Seychelles, what have you. So again, I'm just kind of brainstorming-ish that gives you ideas of where to start. But think, not any idea are wild. Definitely think about those niche activities, those clientele that like to do a little bit more to what calls out to them. Just think about that. Corporate clients is another thing. I would tell you, and I know I have a limited time here, but I would tell you that the corporate client is someone also that you should take a look at for our groups, because to get a hotel, to arrange catering, to arrange what to do after is exhausting. Everything is taken care of on our cruises. So that's something here for you. And last but not least, if you don't have an actual group leader, that's fine. If you don't have an affinity group, if you don't have a big following, that's fine. You can be the Pied Piper, or we can take out group space for you to get an exclusive in one of these great itineraries I'm about to show you. Last but not least, our marketing materials. We have a robust menu of marketing materials that we have for you. YouTube videos, we have one of the best. Our agent portal is amazing. We have even pre-drafted social media content for you. And then use your regional sales directors. Everybody tell me the same thing. What is the best resource that Scenic or Emerald and Emerald has to offer? Your regional sales directors. We are your best resources when it comes to building a group or even FIT. So very quick, I'm going to talk about the snippet of what the group's benefits look like. And this is here, again, this is one of your handouts, but we have group savings, commission earned. Every single group starts at 15%. So keep that in mind. If you're one of our preferred partners, definitely it's a little bit more increase, but if you're just starting out, keep in mind it is 15% or higher. You have your threshold. Again, we only need 5 staterooms. The only difference is the dual river, as it is very popular. And this is a sample of amenities that we offer. On Emerald, like I mentioned, not everything is included, and that's why you probably see some of this. And I'll tell you what's included in Emerald here in just a little bit. On the Scenic side, because it is all inclusive, you're going to see a little bit different. because the pricing is a little bit higher, you're going to see the additional savings to be higher. But also the amenity choices, you're going to see that it is a little bit less than Emerald. And the only reasons for that is, remember, it is all inclusive. So right now, people are coming back from their summer vacation. They're talking about what's next. And they're going to ask you, hey, I enjoyed that vacation that you told us to take. It was wonderful, good time. What's next? So I definitely want Scenic and Emerald to be part of your conversation. And to do that, I'm giving you a special offer. So right now we have the Epic Summer Group Savings. This is for July and August of 2024. We're going to give you up to $750 per person savings, and it is combinable with our current offers, which I'll show you right here in a minute. So $750 per person. So that's definitely something that you want to bring to the table to them. And $750 is for Scenic River Cruises, or $500 for Emerald River Cruises. And you also get a 2% bonus commission on these bookings. If the conversation is away from July and August, maybe they want to do something for the holidays, maybe do something for the fall or the spring, we do have some additional savings for them too. We got the double group savings offer for Scenic and Emerald River Cruises. And we can't forget about our Ocean product with $750 savings on the Scenic Eclipse per person, as well as $500 per person savings on the Emerald Cruises, more for the Caribbean. But this, folks, is honestly a huge amount of savings, and this is combinable with our public offers. So that's something that, again, if you're looking to, make that connection and tell your clients that, hey, you should look at this river cruise, you should look at this expedition, you should take a look at this yacht, I'm going to give you what you need in your toolbox to make that happen. So Emerald Cruises, what is it all about? Here's a little video about that. And the Emerald Yacht. All right. So just gonna show you what the brand, our experience on the river cruise and also on the yacht. So river cruising, for those that haven't done a river cruise or don't know about river cruising, just gonna give you a quick 101 in 30 seconds. The first thing you definitely want to get yourself familiar with is the Rhine River from Amsterdam to Basel, touching all these great cities. Get yourself familiar with Cologne, with Koblenz, with Strasbourg, the Black Forest, and Basel, because definitely those are, some of the cities that people like to visit on the Rhine. The Rhine Valley is made up of a lot of vineyards, as well as castles, almost 300 plus castles. And then here's one of my personal favorite, the mighty Danube. The Danube goes from Nuremberg to Regensburg all the way down to Bucharest. Now, yes, there's an option. You can go all the way down for 14 days. Actually, you can start from Amsterdam all the way down to Bucharest for 14 days. But most people like to cut it up, going from Nuremberg or Regensburg down to Budapest or Budapest to Bucharest. And again, we do it vice versa. Right now, we have an amazing promotion on Danube. So definitely get yourself familiar with the Rhine and the Danube. The Danube, Vienna, Milk, Dürnstein, Budapest, Passau, those honestly are ports of call that you definitely should get yourself familiar with. We also offer other itineraries for those that have done the Rhine and Danube. The Dour River is another one. The Rhone River, which has the top culinary in the world, as well as the Mekong River. Fun fact about Emerald Cruises goes to the city center of Ho Chi Minh City. Not many river cruise lines do that. Another thing about Emerald Cruises that we have, rather than our competitors, is Emerald Cruises has their indoor pool, which is very important because most river cruise lines have their pools on the outside. We have it inside, which means that in inclement weather, we track the roof, and always going to be 80 degrees around there. At nighttime, that indoor pool turns into a movie theater. Another thing that we have on Emerald is the beautiful yachts, the 100-passenger yachts. We have right now one already in service, the Emerald Azura. And then we have the Emerald Sakara, which, fun fact, has already done their sea trials. And we're expecting her very, very shortly, like in the next couple of months. We made this announcement, being this is a CLIA webinar. Kelly Craighead is going to be the godmother of Emerald Sakara, CLIA's own president and CEO. She's going to be at attendance on our naming ceremony in December in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Where does this 100-passenger yacht go, you say? Well, all the warm water climates. And we do a lot more boutique type of itineraries, more seaside. We don't call it ports of call, we call it seaside destinations, because we really go to these ports that the big ships can get to. One off the top of my head is going to be Vieques Island, Culebra Island in the Caribbean. A lot of rainforest destinations in Costa Rica. And in Europe, we're talking about the Red Sea, Jordan, Egypt, the Emirates, the Seychelles, as well as we go through the traditional way of Venice. We actually are the only cruise vessel that goes to San Basilio, and you see that as you go, as you leave Venice out to sea. Again, it takes about 15 to 30 minutes to get from the airport to our vessels, where other vessels, regrettably, has to go on a transfer 2 to 3 hours away from Venice City. The port, besides the great ports of call, seaside destinations, we have the marina. The marina, we open it up on sea days, sometimes even on port days. They can take advantage of the water toys, being a kayak, the available trampoline, and the jet ski, sea bombs, as well as we have our very own tender that we can do private beach barbecues and private beach time. What's included in Emerald? Like I mentioned to you, most of the comforts, all of the comforts actually, are included on Emerald. Wine and beer with lunch and dinner, all gratuities, not only for your staff members and your crew, but also your tour guides. Wi-Fi included with streaming capabilities. We do include most excursions and airport transfers, and it doesn't matter if you book your air through us or not. FIT Emerald, we have our Emerald exclusive savings, which is an additional $500 per person. And it's on selected sailings. Definitely, if you want that list to advertise, reach out to your regional sales director, as well as don't forget about that group savings that I showed you a few minutes ago. So that's on Emerald. Let's talk about Scenic, her sister. Let's talk about now ultra luxury. What's included on Scenic? Everything. What's included on Scenic? Everything. The only exceptions are spa treatments, not spa amenities. So you do have spas, thermal suites, everything included, all beverages included, all excursions included, butler service included. So a lot of the things that, again, that you think is included are included. On the scenic river side, I'm not going to touch too much on it. We have 14 spaceships all over Europe and Asia. The only difference between our Emerald Rivers itineraries is we added Bordeaux and we also added the Seine. Remember at the beginning of the presentation, that scenic, its core is discovery. So definitely you want to discover the four valleys of Bordeaux. Wine galore, sign me up. And also the Seine River. A lot of people like to drive from Paris to Honfleur. That's where the D-Day happened. So when the Normandy Beach Lane Day happens. So a lot of you don't know that they can actually take a river cruise and take the scenic route, pun intended. Same thing with the Mekong. The Mekong River, so I'm gonna tell you, Emerald's the only one that does Ho Chi Minh City. Scenic does not. Scenic is outside of Ho Chi Minh City. And then we have the beautiful Scenic Eclipse, which is our discovery yacht. And this is her playground. Scenic Eclipse, we have two ships, 228 passengers. It's a marriage between expedition cruises as well as yacht cruises. And we do the Arctic, we do the Antarctic, and everything else in between. So all 7 continents. And this is what she looks like. Okay. And I'm going to play a little video just to show you exactly what the Scenic Eclipse looks like.
At 551 feet in length, Scenic Eclipse is longer than 1.5 football fields and more than 6 times the size of some of the world's most impressive super yachts. However, she is just over half the size of the average cruise liner. The perfect marriage of space, innovative technology, and maneuverability. With 10 intricately designed decks, Scenic Eclipse's relatively compact size gives her access to visit ports across the world that others cannot. At the stern of Deck 3, there is a specially designed marina deck housing a fleet of kayaks and 12 Zodiacs.
All right, so actually was taken from Maritime Masters that we just launched it back in May. For those that haven't seen Maritime Masters and really want to get a behind the scenes look at the Scenic Eclipse, I will welcome you to go to Discovery Plus, and all 5 episodes of Maritime Masters are in streaming. It's a great way to segment that to your clients, do watch parties. And if that's something that you want to do, let your regional sales director know. We can definitely arrange that for you for the watch parties. So you saw the Scenic Eclipse. She is the James Bond of the ocean. You know, she has 2 helicopters. She has a submersible. She has that marina in the back, the video said, and it has easy access to the Zodiacs and kayaks. You'd be very surprised how fast we can get Zodiacs out there and get people on board. And that's honestly what the Scenic Eclipse is. It's discovery at its core. You know, you can visit anywhere, whether it be Antarctica, whether it be Europe or North America, anywhere. You can visit in the air with our helicopters, on the water, underwater, or on the land with our shore tours. Every excursions are included. If you're gonna ask the question, I'm gonna tell you the answer, no. The helicopter and the submersible are not included. They are for a nominal fee. And the reasons for that, you keep in mind, you know, not everybody wants to go on a helicopter and submersible. That's why we don't have that. But it's an option for your clients to have. I mean, when I was on the Scenic Eclipse, I cannot tell you how cool it was when I saw the Scenic Eclipse helicopter go out and go towards Mount Rainier and visit the entire Seattle Escape Line. That's honestly, that was to me something. I didn't do that, but I saw that it did that. So that was to me like something that really resonated with me. So for those of you that maybe, you know, want to introduce this to your clients and maybe they want to dive in deep to an Antarctica itinerary or a Northwest Passage or Greenland or Iceland or a South Pacific, we have tasters right now. In October, mid-October, we're going to have some taster cruises for your clients. We have Bermuda and the Bahamas. We have, actually, let me come back. We have itineraries leaving from Portland, Maine, so those folks in the Northeast, to Bermuda. That's going to be
Andy, this is Dean. Yeah, sorry, this is Dean. We're not seeing your presentation right now, so you need to show your. Sorry. Thank you.
Now? Do you see it now? Okay, perfect. I don't know what happened there. For those at Taster Cruises, we have a 4-day Bermuda cruise from Portland, Maine down to Bermuda. We have another 4-dayer going from Bermuda to Miami. And then we have the 2-dayer for those folks that maybe don't have 4 days, quick little weekend getaway. We have one leaving out of Miami on Saturday, October 21st through Monday, October 23rd. It does dock in Nassau. So if you want a little appetizer for your clients to see the Scenic Eclipse 2, which is our newest vessel, definitely a great opportunity. Or if you have someone from Portland, Maine that wants to do everything, if they visit Miami and end in Nassau, we have that 11-dayer for you. So last but not least, what's included in Scenic? Basically, like I mentioned, everything. We even have a promotion right now that if you book right now and you pay in full by 10 days of the cruise, of the sailing, we're going to give you free round trip air, whether it be economy, premium economy, or business class, depending on the stateroom category that you pick. Plus, we have the 2-for-1 fares and all the inclusions that it has. On the Scenic Eclipse, we do have some sailings that have an additional promotion. Same thing with the Scenic River Cruises, up to $2,000 per suite, and it's combinable with our current offers. And not to mention about the group savings. I'm putting it out there because, folks, I'm telling you, this is a very rich promotion. Start those conversations right now about next summer. You know, plant those seeds. They may not say yes right now, but that's okay. Probably with these savings, they probably will say yes, but plant those seeds out there. And coming soon, we're going to come out with a Groups Plus travel advisor program. And what I don't have the specifics, it's going to be launched here very soon. But this is an opportunity for you, the travel advisor, to get a complimentary hosted suite to escort a group on the Scenic Eclipse. So definitely stay tuned for that. These are your regional sales directors. So right now, we are, I believe that we're going to make an announcement very soon about the Northeast. We're still interviewing for the Midwest, but everyone else here is available for you. You have Brandon, who is in the Southeast. You have yours truly in Florida. You have Charla in the Southwest. You have Nancy in the West States, and you have Kelly in the Northwest to the Midwest. So we are all here for you. That's our email addresses. That's our phone number. Remember, we are the very best resource that you can honestly touch on. We definitely are here to help you. Let us know how we can grow an opportunity. And again, like I mentioned, I keep mentioning, make those connections from these intimate luxury cruises into your client's dream vacations. Last but not least, definitely want to talk about groups. Again, only 5 staterooms. You need no upfront deposit, and you have that epic summer savings that I just showed you. And if you want to book right now, if you're chopping up the bits to get on a group, definitely call our groups team. This is their telephone number and email address. And then if you want a quote, scan that QR code you bring up to the groups form that you can fill out and get a group quote here. And your regional sales director and one of our members from our groups team would be in touch with you. So a lot of information, definitely some questions. So I'm just going to touch upon some questions that are always asked on webinars. The first question is this for families? So I mentioned that Emerald is more for children of middle school or high school age. Definitely, I would tell you leave the small children at home. We do have an age, I won't say age restriction, but we do recommend that the age for folks on river cruises is 12 years or older. On the Scenic Eclipse, 15 years, especially on the Expedition, the Zodiacs. But anyways, this is more for middle school and high school age. Leave the small children at home. This is more honestly for mom and dad and grandma and grandpa. We have seen some multi-generational families, and definitely if you have multi-generation opportunities, your regional sales directors can guide you to that. Another questions that we get asked is about the inclusiveness of the Scenic Eclipse. Again, it is all inclusive, same thing with the river cruises. And you saw here the inclusions on Emerald, that is all the comforts included, but you can make it all inclusive of a la carte. So those are usually the preferred questions, but I will go ahead and throw it back to CLIA, to Johanna, and see what other questions that I may have missed.
Thank you so much, Andy. That was a great presentation, and it does seem like people are enjoying the presentation and the handouts, so that's great. You've provided so much good information. One question that is coming up here is related to the excursions in terms of the size of excursions for Scenic River and Eclipse. Is there a limit? What is the ratio from passenger to staff member?
So passenger staff member, either on Emerald or Scenic Eclipse, is usually 1 to 1.5 to 1, which again, what that means is that the service is exemplary. Excursions. So on Scenic Eclipse, we have, I'm sorry, I say Scenic Eclipse. On Scenic, either Eclipse or the river, we have an extensive menu of excursions. Now, it doesn't mean that folks can do multiple excursions. It means that we have an array of excursions that could be either high impact, low impact, or somewhere in the middle. Because again, not one size fits all. Emerald, we do have low impact and high impact excursions that we do provide. Anything in the middle, or if your clients do not want to do those excursions, we do have other excursions called Discover More that's available to you at a nominal fee.
Great, thank you. Another question that we have, let me see here. Could you speak about the accessibility or ADA accommodations that you have on board?
Yes. So this was actually, that's one of the questions that I forgot to say on the frequently asked questions about guests with special needs. So on a river cruise, we do allow wheelchairs and scooters, but they have to be folded up. I would say that clients need to have mobility and to move around, because you cannot go around, because the limited space, you can't go around with wheelchairs and scooters. Also, we do not have any special needs staterooms like rolling showers, etc. We don't have those. The elevators on the river cruise side goes up to the second to the last floor. It doesn't go all the way up to the outside. So again, that's why we say to folks, on river cruise, and usually this is river cruise industry wide, that if you have a special needs guest, make sure that you set the expectations that you need to have mobility. Same thing with the shore excursions. You're going to have a lot of walking, a lot of uneven pavement. So this is, again, something that you should have that conversation. Like I said, not one size fits all. On the yachts, yes, you can have a little bit more limited mobility, but again, it's just those conversations that it's not like the ocean, the big ocean liners that have special needs staterooms, or you can go on with your scooters and wheelchairs. You need to have mobility. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Thank you so much for that. Another question that has come up here, could you speak about the food on board? Could you share your favorite meal or a memorable experience that you've had on board, Andy?
We have the time. Yes, so I can definitely speak to that. So I've been on 3 out of the 4 brands, of not the 4 brands experiences. I'm going to do my 4th one, the very last one this winter. The food is amazing! Exclamation point. It's one of the better, and you've heard what cruise lines I've worked for, and I've sailed with all of those cruise lines, by the way. This is very high up there, if not the best. That's just my opinion. Emerald, because again, it's a lot of fresh ingredients. Everything is a la minute, made to order. It has a extensive wine list. I honestly rate it very good for a premium plus product. Scenic. You asked me about my favorite food. I'm gonna cop out and say D, all of the above. From Lumiere's, which has an amazing escargot, amazing lobster tail and lamb chops. Azor, which has my favorite prosciutto pizza, the most delicious tuna fish sandwich I've ever had. And yes, I'm going there. Sushi on the Coco Sushi Bar, amazing. And sake, I know some cold sake. I'm a cold sake guy, I'm not a hot sake. Cold sake, which is complimentary to do that. I had a phenomenal time. So food, D, all of the above.
That's great, Andy. Great to hear that. Just to follow up with the food question, but while we're doing that, could you go back to the QR code? A few of our attendees are asking you to go back to that.
So I want to do the QR code. One thing I want to add on the food with special needs, if you have a guest with special needs with amount of dietary, special needs, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, let us know. We can definitely accommodate that. The chefs usually will come to your clients and actually make a whole menu based on their special need. Not anything frozen or anything like that. Everything will be freshly made.
Perfect. That was the follow-up question. Another question pertaining to food. Can you speak about chef sailings?
Yes, we have 2 chef sailings. Well, we have actually more than 2. We have 2 chefs on sailing. First up is Chef Ben Robinson from Below Deck. You saw the Emerald Yachts. He is going to be with us. We have a little bit of staterooms left for this October. That's the Med. In October, I think it was late October that we had that. And we have just a handful of staterooms left on the Emerald Yacht for the Caribbean. So definitely that's something that if you have Below Deck fans, we have just a handful of staterooms, so definitely get in there with those. He is amazing. I met him personally. He's a storyteller. You're gonna have a happy hour with him. He's gonna go on some excursions. He's gonna cook some foods on the Emerald Yachts. You might get the whole gossip on Kate and the Below Deck crew. Trust me, I got some good juice out of him. And then we have the Scenic chef, which is Chef Brian Bottaggio, who is the top chef. He's on Top Chef. He did a chef cruise with us last year. He's going to return to do a Scenic Eclipse sailing this year, as well as Bordeaux for Scenic River for next year.
Great. Thank you for sharing that information. We do have a lot of questions here, and we just can't get to all of them. However, the Scenic and Emerald group will reach out to you all pertaining these questions and get those answered. And you all can also contact the group's email and phone numbers here that are shared here. Let me see if there's any last minute questions. And Andy, just to let you know, you did get a lot of hellos and thank yous from attendees, and they said they really enjoyed sailing with you on Scenic Eclipse, just to let you know that.
Thank you, thank you.
Did you have any last minute comments or pieces of information?
Let's give away some prizes.
Awesome.
All right, folks. So the moment you've been waiting for, we're going to give away some prizes. We're going to have 3 winners today. Winner 1, it's going to be called out, receive a prize pack, and the prize pack is going to be Scenic and Emerald swag. So my colleagues at headquarters, can you tell me what the winner is for the prize pack?
That is Patty Olson with Trendy Cruises.
Patty Olson, that is honestly apropos. Patty, thank you so much for all of your support. She is a travel advisor from Naples, Florida. Thank you so much. Congratulations on winning the prize pack. Honestly, you're gonna definitely enjoy this, I promise. Okay, winner number 2, a $250 gift card. Folks from HQ, who's the winner?
Francis Birdie from Travel by Fran.
All right, congratulations, Francis, $250 gift card. We have your information. We'll send that to you. And finally, the grand prize winner, a $500 gift card. Folks, who's that?
And that is going to Charlotte Barksdale from Cruise Planners.
Charlie, good. Congratulations. All right. Congratulations to all the winners. Folks, my just departing words is thank you very much again. And I've seen it over and over again. Thank you very much for your time. Hope you learned a lot about Scenic and Emerald Cruises. And again, this is just scratch the surface. We can definitely do a deeper dive with the regional sales directors. Some of us have, if not all of us, have seminars throughout the country. Get in touch with us. Let us know how we can help you further. And thank you so much for your attention, and hope you have a great rest of your week.